I'm chuckling already because I know what we're going to. We always look forward to Eddie Jones's press conferences. Well, Jeff, he had the privilege of chatting to Eddie Jones after this one.
Eddie, I know you hate to lose, but in terms of taking a step forward, was that the performance you were looking for? And did you learn more about that group tonight?
Well, that's Bledisloe Cup rugby, isn't it? You know, you got to go to the last minute of the game. Look, I thought we played exceptionally well the first 40 minutes, put ourselves in a position to win a game. But these clowns over here, mate, I'm going to go over and have a chat to them because they're not good supporters, mate, and they should behave a bit better than that, which is quite disrespectful. It's disappointing because, you know, Dunedin's a good rugby city and you shouldn't have clowns like that behaving like that. But you know, we haven't got the capacity to keep doing it for long periods, and that's our problem. So we've got to develop that quickly. Whether it's a mental or physical, it's probably a bit of both. We know that. But certainly we've got a game good enough to trouble anyone in the world.
They're not reflective of us, Eddie, in terms of we have so much respect for you and your side, and I think you see that between these two teams. This team took a step up, though, and the way you wanted to play, particularly inexperienced players, you must feel good about where you can move to from here.
Well, you never feel good after a loss, mate. I tell you, you never feel good after a loss. Players are hurting. You know, I feel terrible. But you know, we are improving. We are a team with plenty of potential and talent. But we've got to be able to do it for longer. You know, Test match rugby is about 80 minutes, and you got to keep doing it. Got to keep doing the hard things. And congratulations, New Zealand. You know, they kept going. They kept contesting hard, and they got the result.
You're going to keep working hard. Thanks for joining us after a game which is a difficult result. But we look forward to seeing you at the Rugby World Cup.
Thanks, mate. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Oh, he's always good. I want to know, who are the clowns? Who are the clowns Eddie's talking about there?
I can tell you that was awkward. When you're asking one question, all of a sudden, I didn't really want to look behind me, but clearly there was some fans who were doing something which maybe were a little bit disrespectful, which I don't like and appreciate. Made my job really, really hard going, maybe this is a one-question interview where I'm in and out. Look, you can tell he's disappointed, but I think the biggest thing for Eddie is his challenge was selection coming into the season, was knowing his players, understanding his players and what he's got. I think now with some of the talent he's discovered, he's starting to commit to, I think they're dangerous. You've mentioned it, Mills, on a number of occasions. You think for where they are on their side of the draw, and what I saw out of some guys, Angus Bell, I think is a really good loose head prop. Tom Hooper, which you had a chat to a little bit later on the night, really respectful, classy young man.
Discussing red wine, actually.
Discussing red wine?
Well, you want to talk about tackling. I had no idea what he was talking about there.
Well, he does plenty of that.
No, I thought he was really, really solid. I thought, you know, I felt sorry for Gordon. I was so happy he missed that kick. But that was a big kick, right?
Carter Gordon.
So Carter Gordon's kick was big, but this guy has been epic. There's few guys that have stood up on the side. When Eddie says they're getting better, I think there's 3 or 4 world-class players right now that are stepping up for them. And for me, they'll be the guys that need to continue to step up in the World Cup.
Look how much they've improved in 1 week, right? In terms of where they're at and what's still to come. It's a long time over there to get your game together. So they've still got plenty of time to keep building. But one thing is that we're seeing is that connection. We're talking about our 9 and 10s. You know, he hasn't had the luxury. He's had a captain that's been out. They've used 4 captains this year. You know, so he doesn't have that luxury. So he's still trying to find that combination. But one thing for me is like Bell's starting to step up. We haven't seen that from him before in his open game. But also Carter Gordon, the youngster. You know, he's young. He's starting to attack the line. So the more they grow in the next few sort of weeks, they'll be a big threat, considering the side of the draw they're on.
I'll just say, we always talk about combinations, and all of a sudden Fraser Wright at 7, Fetcher, genuine Fetcher, Valentini carrying the ball, and then they had Hooper pretty much doing everything else. You've got to love that those 3 together looked really good.
We said in the pre-match that, you know, that Valentini is only half the player because his front 5 aren't going forward. But then yesterday they were going forward and he was coming off the back of the scrum, Mills. And so if they can get their game complete, and front row is their problem. I mean, they got pumped in the second half, but they lost another couple of props. In fact, I don't know why he came back on. Must have been HIA, but no one said anything. But, you know, if they don't sort their front 5 out, he's still going to have a long tournament. But they're getting better.
You talk about them being on the easy side of the draw, but in their pool, they've still got Fiji and Wales. Wales just beat England. Fiji just beat Japan. Can they make it out of their pool? Are you confident that they will be 1 or 2?
I'm confident they will. I think the Wallabies will come out. Fiji's going to be the big one for me, you know. And do they pick up the second one over Wales? I mean, I know the Wales, but they've still finding a few issues. He makes that Wales side. So I think the Wallabies will go through.
Wales may have won on the weekend. I read nothing into those results for those teams that are playing their first game in a long, long time. We'll talk about those a little bit later on. But yeah, they get out of their pool. It's Fiji, I think, they get out of their pool as well. I think it's Wales who are under threat. Fiji were really, really good last night for the second half I watched. They were amazing.
Just on Australia, they're naming their Rugby World Cup squad on Thursday. They've used 4 captains. Who is their captain for the World Cup? Do they keep Tate McDermott or do they go somewhere else? You liked him, JK?
Yeah, I think they keep him. I think what Eddie traditionally does, he very quickly gets rid of the players he doesn't like or trust. No opinion on whether he's right or not. And then very quickly he settles on his leadership group and he plays them, and he plays them, and he plays them. And I think he'll stick with them for sure.
I agree, absolutely. I thought he showed great leadership, great composure. I like some of the impact they had off the bench. I think they got that selection right. All of a sudden, Will Skelton, just for 25 or 30, he can have a bigger impact for them.